Hello everybody, welcome back and welcome if you're new here. My name is Kilian and episode 2 of the Haunting of Bly Manor. So apparently Danny is in for a treat and so are we, because what's creepier than a kid? Well, two creepy kids. I have to say that we're definitely going back to a more traditional premise to the whole ghost house thing. Because what was quite particular about the Haunting of Hill House obviously was that the horror was taking place over the span of a few decades, and that the hunting was not so much on the family itself but more about the story of the house and the ghosts that were in it. It wasn't even a demon or an evil story type of thing. But here we're definitely on a more traditional thing with, you know, the new nanny coming in, settling and entering into the horror of two kids who apparently know what's up and who are trying to hide it, all the while trying to protect the nanny to some extent. So, or at least so far it's quite traditional. Now we're left obviously to see what all this is about. But what I would say is that obviously the particular element of that story is that Danny seems to have a ghost of her own already following her. That kind of ghost with the eyes that look like how could you define this? But they're glowing eyes basically. So this is quite interesting. So that springs the question, has Danny been drawn to the house by some unnatural force, or is it really just a coincidence and maybe forces are gonna clash? So obviously we are left to know a little more about Danny's backstory, because she's remained quite vague about it. Something's up with her mother and her relationship. But yeah, a ghost is following her. She doesn't, well, she's freaked out by this one, but she seems to kind of getting a grasp of it. This is definitely something that's been following her for a while now, since she's covering the mirrors and everything, so she knows that she has to avoid any kind of reflection. But it's quite unclear yet if she herself knows what that ghost is about or not. Maybe that's a ghost that's following her. Maybe she has some unnatural capacity. I guess we're gonna find out obviously in the few episodes to come, because what the Haunting of Hill House has been doing is that for the first 4 episodes, I think it was quite a mystery, you know, laying out the pieces, and starting episode 5 or 6, I don't really remember. I would place this with the bed-naked lady arc revelation, and then the second half obviously was about resolving. So I'm expecting to have a semblance of an answer already here to kind of grasp what's happening in this house, because yes, so far we don't exactly know what's up. We know that there's a hunting, of course, but we don't know if this is evil. We don't know if this is to do with the kids. We don't know if this is to do with the house. Miss Grove also, by the way, Hannah Groves, sorry, is quite suspicious as well, I would say, because she's acting quite awkwardly. Granted, at first I thought that she was maybe a ghost, something like this, but she seems to be quite human. But yeah, she's definitely acting awkwardly. And as of Owen and the gardener, I do not think that they're in. You know, they're just basically here during the day, and they take care of the house, so they're not dwelling on the property when awkward things are happening. So it's really going to be interesting to see how all of these characters are going to play, and most interestingly, why this story here. It's always the thing with me and the stories, you know, if you've been watching my other TV show reactions and movie reactions, I'm always quite interested in knowing why this story, you know, because obviously with narratives like these, with the hunting, most most notably that has probably been around for a long time. Why are we being told this particular story at that time? You know, with the Haunting of the House, obviously the haunting has been a thing for centuries, maybe even, or at least for as long as the house was there. And this story was told to us because obviously it was about a really richly garnished family, I would say. So it kind of made sense, you know, to tell their story and not maybe the original Hill House story, of the original Hill House family, I mean. So yes, my interest is going to be, why are we telling us the story of Danny, Miles, Luna? Maybe is it related to what Danny is experiencing with her own ghost? We're gonna find out, I guess. Just like always, the full-length reaction to that video is gonna be available on Patreon. The links to my social media are also gonna be available in the description down below. Check it out. Do not hesitate to join in the Discord server to pursue the discussion. And that's about it. Subscribe, leave a like, just like always, you know. That being said, we're gonna jump right in. Let's go.
The housekeeper was no stranger to muddy footprints.
The door got stuck. And the mess in the hall? It's just a bit of mud.
It's just a bit of mud.
Well, I forgive you.
I found that answer really unconvincing and vague.
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Miles, it's just not that bit.
In a garbage chute, right? Or laundry. Fair.
But that's not fair.
I
Just a
think
bit of
it's
mud.
fair. The kids definitely know what's up and they're refusing to talk about it, so I mean, take the fall. Most probably they're hiding it because they want to protect the people, but still.
It's perfectly dreadful down there.
Ooh.
Can I stay and have a glass of orange juice with Owen, please?
I'm wondering if Laura's turn of phrase means really something, if this is just a personality.
You have a fine heart, miss.
Yet she let Danny go down on her own. Oh no. Please. That isn't right. Come on, Danny. All of these dolls. No. Oh, if there's one thing, it's dolls.
Look who I
Oh no! Oh no! What moved? Oh no! Dolls, nah.
Miles? Miles, are you okay?
It's interesting the use of the music right here, because they could have decided, you know, to play it out all silent and creepy, but no, they decided to go with the music kind of reassuring, say that something is up, you know.
Send us into the swine. Let us enter them. So, he gave them permission.
They needed permission, the demons,
Permission to...
to enter the pigs. Did they need it for him, though? Did they need it for the man?
Oh, excellent question, Wingrave.
Possessions are always a case of, the possessions are always, like, at least in the stories, you know, I'm not a real exorcism expert. It's always a matter of allowing and resisting and mind strength, or even, you know, if you've seen Let Me In, Please Let Me In, I think, the vampire story with Chloe Grace Moretz. In that case, she's a vampire, but, you know.
You feel a bit more at home, no doubt. You asked some excellent questions today, by the way. I'm here, as are the other members of the staff, so if you feel the need to talk, you're in none of this alone, is all I'm driving at.
So I suppose this is post the suicide of the governess that precedes Danny.
Wingrave!
Yep.
You can have a bottom bunk.
I'd hate to
I'm
have to
glad
sleep
you're
after
right.
somebody.
Yeah.
My bed is, and my spot in the bed.
Why'd you jump? Just looking for the right key. I didn't jump. I fell. I saw you jump. I fell.
The Miles actor is a fine actor, I have to say. Really convincing in that regards.
Break it up!
Oh, easy.
Wingrave!
Did he pass out?
Hooper! Okay, everybody back to class. Now, go on. All of... Look, I understand what you're going through. Or, you know what? Maybe I don't. We all do terrible things sometimes. But it's that feeling of remorse, that guilt, that burning inside your chest, that's what distinguishes us in God's eye.
I'm wondering if this is, I don't think that's really what's up with Miles. I'm more thinking maybe he's trying to push either the evil to manifest itself or the good to manifest itself to prevent the evil, something like this.
And death is something to mourn, not fear. And you've had to deal with death far, far more than a child your age should.
I'll have just something to say about this. Check the post-reaction discussion, I'll probably talk about it if I'm not forgetting. Something's gonna happen. Oh. Oh.
But remorse, demonstrating remorse, won't make all of this go away. I'm not going to lie to you, but it is the first step towards some kind of absolution.
I have another thing to say about it.
Speak!
I'm sorry.
Together, you and I...
Sorry, I didn't do worse. Spread out the insides. Burn it. I'm sorry I didn't do worse.
Why don't you come teach your sister how to do it? She'll think it's just splendid.
But
Just splendid.
Oh, crack in the wall. She's concerned. Miss Groves knows. Mrs. Groves, or Miss Groves, knows what's up.
Go on, admit it. You're loving having this wee break.
Suppose.
What about the part where they knocked her in a closet?
Oh, no, you can't blame them for that.
Yeah, you can't give them a pass forever, Hannah. On a scale of 0 to American, how would you rate her?
American. In the kitchen, there's a crack in the ceiling. Would you mind popping in later to have a look?
I appreciated this little side conversation. Allows us to see that this is quite a sane... Well, these people are quite sane, you know. It kind of dissipates any pre-thoughts that we might have had. Although it does not puts them under any kind of suspicion, really, but... Oh.
Are you cross with me?
The eye thing. I suppose.
It's fine.
Okay. Somebody died. What's up now? Kind of sigh form in the background, really. And the crack is no longer.
Where are you off to?
Have a lovely afternoon, Jamie, darling.
Cheeky bastard. Oh, right. Okay, so these are not an eye thing. These are a man wearing glasses. I don't know if you noticed, but I kind of, in my speech, kind of got tense, but I was like, I need to carry you out. I need to carry away the sentence.
For assault and butter.
Keep me focused. Focus.
Oh my god.
Yeah, sure thing. In private.
Whew.
Being around Flora, I sometimes forget myself.
We don't like these, do we?
Sad.
You didn't like
Such a
that.
draining thing.
Uh,
Dealing with children.
yeah. Oh, heck nah.
Hey.
Oh, I took them from the goddess.
Hey.
Oh, fuck.
Just a few flowers. Oh, sure. Well, that's fine then.
I mean, she's the gardener. And you're a gardener. Don't cut my flowers.
Like people messing about in my garden.
No, you're right.
I told you in the very first episode, it was kind of like, almost like Miles was hitting on Danny. It's almost like Miles is in two minds, quite literally.
Hide and seek.
Okay, hide and seek.
Oh,
Sure.
never seems to be.
Is that all right with you, Miles?
Nah. When did in any type of horror setting has hide and seek ever been a good idea? I wonder, miss. Oh, Danny standing right there is ghost-like. It's terribly silent. It's almost like I give myself chills. Oh no. Oh. Why can't it be some Mick Jagger or I don't know, Slipknot, or why does it always have to be a little child tune from a music box? Oh, it's freaky in my ears. Oh. Oh. We saw something behind Flora. Is that Rebecca? Ah!
Jesus, Miles.
Got you.
I'm supposed.
Okay. That one was... Okay. Why are you hiding out? Why
Ease
are
up.
you hiding out?
Ease up.
How come you were playing that game in the dark in the first place? You can't play hide and seek with the plain lights. Wouldn't hurt. Leave. Move. How come ghosts always have to do creepy things? Why can't they just...
I saw him. Swear to God. In the window. You're okay. You're okay. He's away.
Darn it. Alright everybody, it's So yes, from the very first episode I was saying that in my I thought that Miles was kind of hitting on Danny. Now it's kind of confirmed, but it's like he's definitely in two minds. He has two turns of speeches. The one that he's Miles, regular Miles, kid Miles, child Miles, 10-year-old. And the one that's kind of grown up, you know, calling the gardener darling, hitting on Danny, being quite cavalier about it, and you know. And I'm wondering now if Miles is under a case of possession or something like this. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not really sure. I'm wondering as well regarding Danny if maybe now the ghost that's following her is maybe more of a trauma thing than an actual ghost following her. Because she's carrying these glasses. I'm wondering maybe if they may be the glasses of a deceased person, sorry. Died in an accident maybe, or something like this, hence the shattered glass, the shattered specs. But okay, I was about to say something regarding death when the father spoke to Miles. It strikes me, you know, I find that death strikes a child so hard because adults tend to mend death for a child. You know, they think that and I don't know. Well, I think I know why, but basically, I'm not going to go into details of my impression. But basically, just to picture the thing: if children were not led to believe that they would be eternal, you know, and that they need to fear death, or that, because the fact of not talking about death makes it an unknown, and nobody likes the unknown because it's the promise of uncertainty, and as you're a child, you're always being taught that uncertainty is not good in any kind of way. And so obviously when death happens, children are full of questions and everything, and it's not because of the inherent nature of death. It is just because of the idea that we accolade to death as adults. You know, adults to children tend to say that death is no good, or basically by any kind of mean that they do, or that they represent death, or that they avoid the subject of death. It's just like a red light on death, and when it happens, of course, the child is going to be full of questions and full of uncertainty and doubts and everything. So the solution to this is just talk about death, and not you know, necessarily make a big deal about it, because you don't want the child to be necessarily upset about it. I mean, you don't need to emphasize especially on this, but it's not to avoid the subject of death is something that could help. And but for certain reasons, mainly olden reasons of religion and stuff, death is something that is not like to be talked about. But the solution, you know, to everything that is quite uncertain and unknown and that might be fearful is to talk about it and to desensitize it, mainly. So that was it about Miles. The other thing I meant to say, was regarding the fact that the fathers were basically asking Miles for an apology. I don't remember when I saw this, but I find it really in quite meaningful. Is that I think somebody once said that asking people to issue an apology when they don't mean to issue an apology is the best way to create a social path, which is quite right, because, well, so basically, even though there is the word path, it's not necessarily like a mental illness. It's more of a way of being in that case, where the individual is not apologizing because they feel sorry. They're just apologizing because they know that you need their apology to move forwards. You know, if apologizing is what will get me out of that office, I will apologize, even though I don't feel as being sorry. So it's the best way, you know, to learn to teach somebody how to manipulate people, basically. So that was just what I wanted to say as well. Now, more dwelling into the story. So Mrs. Grove doesn't seem, well, she seems to notice things and to know that something is up, but she does not seem to exactly grasp what is taking place and everything like this, because she is still quite freaked out about things, not like Miles and Flora aren't. Basically, Flora was just like singing with that ghost and just shushing that ghost. So first, she's not scared of them, but secondly, she seems to have authority, or at least on some of them, or at least on this one, and even maybe to befriend or, you know, something like this. While Miles seemed to be quite prone to ghosts and to hauntings, and at some point I was wondering, theories were rushing in my head, you know, during that flashback sequence. Is Miles possessed, or is just Miles maybe trying to taunt people to bring out the evil to the good, to have an answer of a greater force or something like this, you know? It was quite unclear, and it is quite unclear, obviously, because this is kind of the mystery regarding Miles. But the fact that he seems to be quite literally in two minds pushes me towards the idea that he may be under some kind of, maybe not possession, because I wouldn't go that far, but I would say influence, to say the least. At least. Some kind of influence from a ghost, and why not the ghost that we saw in the window. Now, regarding the ghost that we saw in the window, I didn't get a good glance at the photograph that Danny picked up in the Forbidden Wing, sorry, in the Forbidden Wing, but I was wondering, is that his father, or because I think I quite saw a resemblance, but maybe I just missaw, you know, because it was quite in the dark and everything. I'll have to look it back, but yeah, just like for the Haunting of Bly House, it's definitely, at least for the first two episodes, it's kind of already following the same structure narratively as the Haunting of Bly House, in terms of how the intrigue is revealed to us, you know, along the episode. The first episode is just planting the characters, planting the fact that something is wrong, but you don't know why. Then the second episode is about instilling the mysteries, you know, and giving us a little bit of backstory where they are, and giving us the first mystery that we might have more clearly, meaning what's up with Miles, what's that ghost that is friend with Flora, let's say friend, and who is that ghost in the reflection, I mean in the window, and also who's that, what's that about the glasses and the thing with Danny, because in the first episode we had these first elements, but we never had really something strong. We never knew what things were. We never could try to connect things with enough elements. I hope that you understand what I'm trying to say. But now we definitely have some things, you know, that we can pursue, some leads. Not leads per se, but, you know, first definitive directions. We're narrowing the possibilities further and the further we go. So third episode, I don't know if they're maybe going to make an episode right now on Flora. Now that we've had an episode on Miles, could be quite interesting, but I hope that we either do this for Flora. I hope that they stop there, because what's always bothering me is when they do an episode that's surrounding around the character, and then episodes that surround other characters, because I'm like, sometimes as a viewer you get interested into a particular character, and when they decide to do the next few episodes on other characters, I don't know you, but I kind of feel bored because I'm not that much interested into the other characters, and that means that I have to wait 2 episodes to finally come back to the main story and the character that I like and the mysteries that I want to be solved and everything. So it kind of bothers me when they do this, but I'm if they do this, maybe just for Flora next episode, and in a light manner, because you know all the episode was not about Miles, so it was fine. But yeah, that's my little warning here. But just like always, I really enjoy the scary things, and they just let your mind racing on these. They do not jump scare you from the get-go. And basically the only jump scare that we had here was Miles jumping at Danny, and that one didn't frighten me that much because since there was already the ghost with Flora, the shot before that, your peak of adrenaline had already been fulfilled, you know, so you weren't prepared yet again to be frightened, because a jump scare only works really when you're getting ready to be frightened, which is why the guy basically in the reflection worked, because everything was tensed and nothing was released yet again, because nothing had intervened, nothing had really spawned, and then boom, you see the cut shot into the window, and you see the guy here in plain face looking at Miles. So yeah, and so yes, it's never cheap shots. It's always, and it's more the tension and it's more the mystery really than the horror per se. And the Haunting of Hill House was like that. There were quite things that were ill designed, you know, ill by that I mean twisted and really scary designed, but mostly it was all about the mystery, so it's quite enjoyable because the mystery itself is quite sufficient to have your mind racing and imagining the worst and everything like this. So yes, can't wait to jump into episode 3. Thank you very much guys for watching that reaction of The Haunting of Bly Manor. Just like always, the full reaction is available on Patreon. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, and the link to all of my social medias is also down below in the description box. That being said, thank you very much for watching. Always a pleasure having you here. I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye.